Chapter 5 Season 2 is going to be amazing. From light to darkness, from fire to ice, we are going to have different bosses on the map who are in fact Greek mythology gods. Each of the bosses will have their opposite side because we are stuck in a loop ever since Chapter 1. That is the reason there is always a battle between a good and an evil, darkness and light, everything and nothing. And Fortnite throughout the years has done this by using different elements like fire, ice, and in Chapter 5 Season 2 we are going to see this where all of the elements will come together and there is going to be a huge battle. To understand this, we have to go all the way back in Chapter 1. Please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM. Chapter 1 Season 5 was the first season we saw an introduction of darkness and light. First of all, we saw the Visitor, one of the members of the Seven, introduce rifts to the Fortnite island, which has been very good for the island, bringing new locations. You can use it as movement. And the same season, we get a random cube appear on the island, and it went around corrupting everything up until Chapter 1 Season 6, which was actually called Darkness. Cube melts into Loot Lake and we see a huge floating island. The island goes around the map, corrupting more locations and also people. Skins that we've always known to be happy and funny like Bright Bomber, Jonesy skin, and now there is this evil version of these skins like Dark Bomber. Just when the cube was about to corrupt everything, we are saved by this mysterious force, and at the time we didn't know what it was, but now we do. It was the 0 point. And this was the beginning of this good and evil that we see every season. In Chapter 1 Season 7, we see two individuals with different elements fight on the Fortnite island. We are talking about the Ice King and the Fire King. Fire King and the Ice King used to be friends, creatures and monsters in different realities, and used to prison them at the Ice Moon. But the Fire King slowly starts to get greedy and wants to use these monsters to rule Fortnite universe. The Fire King attacks the Ice King and he wants to take control of all of these monsters. And to stop the Fire King, the Ice King summons Eternal Winter. He freezes the whole of Fortnite, and to protect himself and fight against the Ice King, the Fire King summons the volcano. Fire King, out of anger, erupts the volcano, trying to destroy the Fortnite island. And in Season 8 live event, yet again we see something good and evil. Good being the 0 point, by letting us bring an item to the game, and the evil thing being the volcano eruption, which destroyed Tilted Towers and Retail Row. Also during the same event, the Fire King releases a creature to destroy the 0 point. That is exactly what we see in Season 9. The Cactus monster appears out of nowhere and starts to destroy the Fortnite island. Goes straight towards the 0 point because it knows that if it destroys the 0 point, darkness can rule Fortnite. Yet again, like every season, every time there is bad, there is good as well, and this time our savior was the robot. The robot was constructed by the Imagine Order with the help of Singularity, and both of them defeats the monster. But unfortunately, the 0 point gets exposed, meaning it will attract more evil people. And in Season X of Chapter 1, to stop evil people from using the power of the 0 point, the Seven takes advantage of the 0 point being out in the open and tries to destroy it. But during the live event, rather than destroying the 0 point, they create a massive black hole. Everything goes dark for a few days, and when it's finally back, we are in Chapter 2. And in Chapter 2, we are introduced to this character called Midas and bunch of his friends as well. And Midas's mission is yet again to destroy the 0 point and stop this loop. But to stop him, the Imagine Order sends their clones to fight against them. And this was the battle of Ghost versus Shadows. For some reason, Season 2 of every chapter seems to be an important season when it comes to battle between the good and evil. And Chapter 2 Season 2 was a big season for that. Midas constructed a a doomsday device to stop this Fortnite loop, but Agent Jones, being very smart, replaces the storm with a tsunami. And in Chapter 2 Season 3, the water element becomes a huge part of the Fortnite island. The whole of the island is covered in water. Also this season we are introduced to a new element to the game, which is fire. We can set fire to builds. Despite that, in Chapter 2 Season 4, for the first time ever, Fortnite Island almost gets destroyed. Galactus, who's also known as Destroyer of Everything, is approaching the Fortnite Island because he wants to consume the power of the 0 points. And again, we are saved by good, and this time it was the Avengers. Managed to defeat Galactus, but the 0 point is yet again exposed, and this time it is destabilizing. And that is because it is exposed and a lot of people are using it. And this time around, to save us, a bunch of hunters from different realities are brought to this island to protect the 0 points. But unfortunately that was not enough, so Agent Jones gets help of the Foundation, and the Foundation seals the 0 point inside of the spire. And during Chapter 2 Season 7, we witness probably the darkest moment in the history of Fortnite. Lost Reality, who are completely evil and darkness. In fact, they were the one who sent the cube to the island in Chapter 1, is now here. And this time, because of the strength of the Lost Reality, we see the Imagine Order and the Seven both fight against it. And when the island was completely covered in darkness, we discover that there is another side of this island. Again, this theme of being two opposite sides, fire, ice, good and evil, light and darkness, continues. In Chapter 3, we find ourselves on this new island, which everything seemed good until Chapter 3 Season 2. And like I mentioned before, Season 2 being the most important season of the chapter when it comes to a battle between good and evil, which I think will continue on in Chapter 5 Season 2 as well. Now in Chapter 3 Season 2, we see battle between the Foundation's 7 versus Dr. Sloan's Imagine Order. The whole of the season we see this battle continue until the collision event when the 7 destroys the Imagine Order, and just when we think that the darkness has been defeated, we find out that the Imagine Order was not the evil of this chapter. It was in fact this mysterious character called Herald. Herald introduces a brand new element to this season, that being Chrome. Also the same chapter we are introduced to a lightning element and also tornadoes. Herald uses the power of the Chrome to kidnap the 7, and for the first time in the history of Fortnite, in Chapter 3 Season 4, there is only evil on the island and no one to protect us. And because of this, Herald destroys this Fortnite Chapter 3 island, but luckily the 0 point reconstructs a brand new island. Again, the theme continues just like the black hole event. One moment there is nothing and darkness, and next we are introduced to a new island. Similarly, we are introduced to the Chapter 4 island. Chapter 4, we are told about this darkness evil power called the Nothing, but still to this day we are not introduced to this creature. Also the same season we are introduced to this dark power called Kato Thorn. We all know what happened to him. And now we hear in Chapter 5 Season 1, yet again it looks like this loop of evil and good is still continuing. We see the society trying to take over the Fortnite island, and we know the underground is trying to fight against the society, and it looks like this fight is going to get really bad, especially in Chapter 5 Season 2, and this is because of Valerie. We know that Valerie opened the Pandora's box, which was not supposed to be opened, and all the evil and darkness that was contained in this box has now released, and the Greek gods will be here to fight against this evil. We know Zeus, the god of light, Poseidon, god of water, will be here to fight against god of darkness, this guy right here on the box, and god of fire. It seems like this Titan this arm belongs to, and yet again the good and evil, light and darkness continues next season. I'll keep you guys updated, so please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM.